Hello guys, welcome back to CeeFashion Academy. Today I'll be giving you this very important topic, how to cut a shirt gown. So please, it's been a long time. I really missed you guys. I've been sick, that's why I've not been able to post video. Thank you for those that called me on phone. Thank you for those that chatted me. I love you guys. So today this is how to cut a shirt gown. So please, I want you to make sure you watch to the end. And for those that don't know how to sew this shirt gown, please, I'll be leaving the link in the description box. Make sure you go there, go and check it out and watch it. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
So like I said, we'll be cutting a shirt gown. So let's go straight to the point. So this is the measurement, the required measurement for the shirt gown. The shoulder is 14 inches, bust length is 9 inches, under bust length is 12 inches, hip length is 23 inches, gown length is 36 inches, round hip is 36 inches also, round under bust is 29, round bust is 34. Okay, so like I said, the method we'll be using today is called what? To cut the shirt. Like I said, you can cut a shirt using two methods. It's either you use the separate method or you use the together method. The together method is when you are cutting your shirt, like when you are cutting both the front and the back together. You understand? Why the separate method is when you cut the front separate and you cut the back separate. So the one I will be using today is the together, the one which will be cutting the front and back together. Okay, so in order to do that, first of all, first thing we normally do while cutting any dress is we fold. Do you understand? So, and we have this our normal way of folding, which is always your highest circumference. Do you understand? Now in this case, our highest circumference is is round hip, which is 36. Now divide by divide by 4, which is going to give you 9. Now you can add extra 5 inches to that 9, which is going to give you 14 inches. Okay, now look at it. You fold using your highest circumference. Highest circumference in this case is round hip, which is 36 divided by 4, which is we normally divide by 4. It's going to give you 9. Now you now add extra 5 inches. Now like I said, that 5 inches for both for the button and for the side allowance. Okay, so now for this particular person, we have highest circumference is 36 divided by 4 is 9 plus 5 is 14. Now look at it. What we have here is 14. Are you seeing it? Are you seeing it? That is what we are folding with now. 14. Okay. And it's not only the width you consider. You also consider the length of your gown. Okay. In this case, the length of our gown is 36 inches. Okay. Now measure out your 36. Measure it out. Now when you measure out your 36, are you seeing it? Mark it out. When you mark it out, please you add your allowance. Your allowance can range from 1 to 2 inches. Now for the sake of this particular tutorial, I'm using 1 inch. Are you seeing it? Okay. Now after you finish marking it, next thing you're going to do is to do you cut it off. Okay, so next thing we are going to, are you seeing it? We finished cutting out the material for the front. It's also fold exactly for the back. Are you seeing it? Now there is one difference. Now the back should be longer than the front with 3 inches. The back should be longer than the front with 3 inches. Now I know most of us will be like confused. What is this 3 inches for? Now this 3 inches is for, how do I even explain? Let me get a shirt. Okay, now look at it. Now looking at this shirt, you notice something. You notice that the back is coming to the front. Are you seeing it? So that is why the back is always 3 inches longer than the front. Now what is the function of this back coming to the front? Now looking at it, we all know that none of our shoulders is kind of flat. Do you understand? Everybody's shoulder is broad. It's just that which one is broader than the other. Do you understand? Like now, male shoulders are usually broader than female shoulder. But in either case, female shoulder is not flat also. Do you understand? It's kind of curved. So in that case, the back should be longer than the front. So that when you wear this fabric, when you wear the shirt down, the shoulder side will relax very, very well. That is the essence of that back coming to the front. As you can see, are you seeing it? So that is the reason why we are leaving 3 inches at the back. Now look at it. Okay. Now place two of them together. Are you seeing it? Now look at it. we already have what? 3 inches. Are you seeing it at the back? Okay. So now you are done cutting out the fabrics for both front and back. Do you understand? Now you are done cutting out the fabrics. Next thing you are going to do is to do what? Fold for the what? Button. The button allowance, which I said is what? 2 inches. Fold it out. Okay. Now let me fold it out. Before I fold it out, I need to mark it out first. Let me mark it out. 2 inches. 2 inches. 2 inches. 2 inches. Like I said, these 2 inches is not really for the overlapping, but for the what? Folding. Folding, not for the overlapping, but for the what? Folding. I'm going to show us how to what? Do the overlapping. Okay, so after you are done marking it out on the front, so after you are done marking, what next do you do? Fold it out first. Okay, as you can see, I folded it out. Are you seeing it? Okay, so after you're finished folding it out, what next do you do? Next thing you're going to do is to do what? Slant the what? The shoulder. That is the next thing you're going to do. All of us know why we slant shoulder now. None of our shoulders is towards straight. All our shoulders are what? Slanted. So that's the reason why we are slanting the shoulder. So in order for you to slant the shoulder, please, I want you to see this. Now look at this. Look at this. Are you seeing it? We have 3 inches here. Are you seeing it? Back is what? 3 inches longer than the what? Front. Now what you are going to do is what? Push this front to this side. Are you seeing it? So that it will be equal to the what? Upper part. Thereby leaving the 3 inches at the back, at the what? Under. Are you seeing it? At the bottom. So next thing we are going to do is to do what? Use your pin and what? Pin it in order to what? Hold it firm. Like I said, make sure that both the front and the back here, they are equal. Leaving that 3 inches at the what? Bottom. Okay. So now next thing you are going to do is to do what? Slant the shoulder. In order for you to slant the shoulder, you mark out the shoulder. The shoulder is what? 14 inches divided by 2, which is what? 7. Are you seeing it? Okay. Now, in this case, after you finish marking it out, place your tape like this and step down with. Now, we are going to slant. Now, in order to slant, this is called the what? Shoulder slope. In order to get the shoulder slant or shoulder slope, step down with what? For female, you can step down with from 1 inch to what? 2 inches. Do you understand? From 1 inch to what? 2 inches. But I advise us to use what? 2 inches in this case. Now look at it. Mark it out. Are you seeing it? Now we've marked it out. Next thing we are going to do is what? Take your ruler and what? Connect like this. From this place down to this point. Are you seeing it? Okay. So after we are done, we've done doing that. Next thing you are going to do is to do what? Cut it out. As you can see, as you are cutting it out, cut out both the what? Front and the back. Okay, now after you are done cutting that, next thing you are going to do is to do what? Remove your pin. Now when you remove your pin, what next do you do? Take it down. Are you seeing it? Take it down. Remember that particular
3 inches.
Thank you. The 3 inches is coming at the what? Upper part. When you look at your what? Shirt. Okay. Now take it down. Make sure that it is equal. Are you seeing it? Make sure that it is equal. Both the front and back are equal at the what? Down part. Thereby leaving the what? 3 inches at the what? Upper part. Now, but there's something else I also want you to do. This part is very, very important. Now look at it. As you are placing this one, please, I want you to make sure that this one is coming out with extra what? Half. Now look at it. Let me turn it so that all of us can see it. Now look at it. Make sure that it is equal at the down part, while the front is coming out with what? Half. I know some of us might be wondering what this half is. Remember I told us that I'm going to show us how to do the what? Overlapping. Okay, this half inch is for the what? Overlapping. As you can see, are you seeing it? I placed it. It is equal at the bottom part, while this one, the back is having what? Extra 3 inches here. Okay, now look at it now. Are you seeing it? So next thing we are going to do is to do what? The back part, fold it so that it will be touching what? The front. Okay, are you seeing it? So as you can see, we've gotten this effect on a shirt. As you can see, the back coming to the front. That's exactly what you just did. Are you seeing it? The back coming to the front. Okay. So after we are done doing this thing, next thing we are going to do is to do what? We are going to mark out our measurement points. It is at this point we mark out our what? Measurement point. Please always remember The front, are you seeing it? After folding out your 2 inches, we come out with what? Half inch. This half inch is for the what? Overlap. I'm still going to show us at the end of this class how to place them together. Okay. So next thing we are going to do, like I said, is to what? Mark out our measurement points. Okay, now so let's mark out our measurement point. Remember what I said? You don't start from here, because here is that part which you slanted. You start from here. Place that has they have the what? Original measurement. Okay, so our bust line which you have here is what? 9 inches. Bust length is what? That is from shoulder to the what? Nipple point. Share. Okay, 9 inches. Now our under bust is what? 12 inches. Our hip line is what? 23 inches. Our gown length is what? 36 inches. This way, is that thing showing you? Then our allowance is what? 1 share. Now, in this case, now I can see I still have extra 2 inches. You understand? So I can still leave it to be what? 2 inches. Do you understand? But if you must use 1, all you need to do is to do what? Mark out that one and cut off the rest. Do you understand? But let me just use what? 2 inches, because I have it already. Okay. So next thing you are going to do is to do what? Take your rule and do what? Connect. Okay, as you can see, we have our what? Shoulder line. Are you seeing it? We have the what? Bust line. We have the what? Under bust line. We have the what? Hip line. And we have the what? Gown length with what? Allowance. Okay, so after we are done doing this, the next thing we are going to do is to do what? We are going to mark out our armhole. You understand? We are going to mark out the armhole. I know all of us know how to mark out armhole, but for the sake of this class, I will also repeat it. So in order to mark out your armhole, see what you're going to do. Shoulder is what? 14. You first of all mark out your what? Shoulder. Okay, shoulder is 14 divided by 2 is what? 7 inches. Now, measure out 7. Please don't start from here. Are you seeing it? Don't start from here. Are you seeing it? Don't start from here. Neither do you start from here. Why? Because we have the half inch which you already brought out from the front. Are you seeing it? So it means that the measurement starts from what? After the what? Half inch. Are you seeing it? Please note that. Look at it. Look at the half inch. Are you seeing where the original measurement starts? So you have to do what? Exclude the what? Half inch. Now mark out your what? 7 inches. Okay. This is the what? 7 inches. You guys should remember that whenever you are cutting any clothes, when you measure the shoulder, are you seeing it? What we have here is what? 7. You don't just stop at 7. You add extra what? Half inch allowance. This half is for the what?
Joining allowance.
Yes, the armhole seam allowance. Do you understand? Okay, so mark it out. Like I said, when you are marking it out, you don't need to bother where to stop, because obviously when you're working on your fabric, you're making use of the word chalk. Okay, in order to get the real armhole length, what you do is what? Whatever you have for the shoulder, this is the simplest method which I usually use. Look at it. What do you have at the shoulder? 7 plus what? Half. Are you seeing it? So take it and also what? Put it here. Are you seeing it? 7 plus what? Half. As you can see, this one is corresponding exactly at the what? Bust length. So use it like that. It's very much okay. Why this one is stopping at the bust length is because the person has a very small bust. You understand? Okay, 7.5. Hope you guys understand this method. Whatever you have at the shoulder plus your allowance, take it down. Now, if you still want to like kind of make it to be free, because maybe depending how free of a shirt you are making, you can either add extra what? Half inch to it. But for the sake of this class, I'm not adding extra half inch. What I'm doing is what? Whatever you have at the shoulder is 14. From here to here, which is what? 7 plus half is what? 7.5. Take it as your what? Armhole length. Hope that one is well understood. Okay, so when you take it as your armhole length, what you are going to do at this point, take your marker and do what? Draw a horizontal line. This horizontal line is called the what? Armhole base. Why this one is called the what? Armhole length. Okay, so after that, next thing we are going to do, we are going to mark out our what? Armhole curve. You guys know that every armhole is curved. You understand? So how do we curve this armhole? We curve this armhole by placing our tape like this. Are you seeing it? Marking out what? 1 inch. Are you seeing it? Okay. When you mark out 1 inch, obviously you do what? You construct your what? Armhole. So let's construct the armhole. Okay. Now the armhole is constructed. But I will not still forget this what we call the what armhole effect. Now we are going to apply armhole effect on this. Remember, armhole effect is only applied in front of every garment, not at the back. It is applied in front of every garment so that when you are wearing that dress, the armhole region will be what relaxed, not having excess puff and rumple at that particular armhole region. Do you understand? That's the essence of applying the what armhole effect. So in order to apply this armhole effect to this, what we are going to do is what whatever you have as your what armhole length. Are you seeing it? Divide it by 2. Now we have 7.5. Dividing it by 2 is what? 3.75. Are you seeing it? 3.75. At this point, this is the middle part. Now, next thing you are going to do is to do what? At this part, are you seeing it? Step back by what? Half. You can either step in by half or what? 3/4. But for the sake of this class, I'll be using what? Half inch. Now we have this point. Are you seeing it? We have this point and we have this point. So we are going to connect it. Now look at how I'm going to connect it. Are you seeing it? I've actually connected it. Are you seeing it? So, but why cutting out this thing for the first time? I'm not going to cut out this particular one. I'm going to be cutting through this original one. Are you seeing it? Which after I cut out this one separate, only affecting it on the what? Front part. People understand this thing? You don't cut out this one both at the back. You only cut out this one first. Then have to do what? Trace this one out on the front part. Okay. So next thing we are going to do is what? We are going to impute our body measurement. Hope you guys understand. We are going to impute the what? Body measurement. So in order to impute the body measurement, the round bust is 34 inches divided by 4 is going to give us what? 34 divided by 4 is going to give us 8.5. So for you to measure that 8.5, please always know that you don't start your measurement from here. Are you seeing it? Remember there is still what? Half inch. Are you seeing it? There is still this half inch you are seeing here. So you start your measurement after the what? Half inch. Like I said, our round bust is what? 34 divided by 4 is what? 8.5. Now mark out your what? 8.5. Now, next thing you're going to do is what? Add your what? Extra body allowance. Shay? Add your extra body allowance. So, what are we going to use? 2 inches is the average body allowance. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to be using what? 1.5. Like I said, 2 inches is the what? Average body allowance you're going to use. Okay, so let's go to the underbust. We have underbust of 29. 29 divided by 4 is what? 7.25. 29 divided by 4 is what? 7.25. So what are you going to do? You're going to impute the what? 7.25. Still remember, don't forget, you don't start from here. You start after the what? Half inch. 7.25 plus what? 1.5. Next is what? The round hip. Round hip is what? 36 inches. 36 divided by 4 is what? 9 inches. Okay. Mark out your what? 9 inches and extra what? 1.5. Is why I'm marking out the allowance. Make sure that your allowance they are a what? Equal. Please, if this one is 2 inches, let this one be 2 inches, let this one be what? 2 inches. If this one is 1.5, let this one be 1.5, and also let this one be what? 1.5. It's necessary for you to do that. Okay, so next thing we are going to do is to do what? We are going to join all the points together. Okay, so let's join it together. Now, in order for us to join it together, originally joining it together is like this. Now look at it. Are you seeing it? Okay, now look at this very well. If you want to make a pencil gown, like the shirt gown should to be what? Pencil shirt gown. What are you going to do? Remember, a pencil shirt gown goes this way. Are you seeing it? It goes this way. Then how do you get this? Please, how do you, if you really want to make a pencil gown, how do you get this? Please, whatever you have at the hip, remember, whatever you have at the hip, are you seeing it? Let's say your 9 and your 9 inches plus what? 1.5. Just put the same thing here. 9 inches plus what? 1.5 is going to give us what? I'm coming. Let me mark it out. 9 plus
2.5. Give us 10.5.
Okay, now look at it. This thing now shows that where this one is stopping is where this one is. Are you seeing it? So from here, step back with what? 1.5. Are you seeing it? If you really want to get a pencil, now look at it. From here, are you seeing it? Connect it. If you are working on a what? A pencil shirt gown. But if you're working on straight cut shirt gown, what do you do? Please, exactly whatever you have at the hip line is exactly what you have there. What am I saying? Look at it. Are you seeing it? This is a what? A straight cut. But if you are still working on a cut shirt gown, what are you going to do? Look at it. From here, you have to kind of what? Extend your hand. Are you seeing it? With what? You have to extend it with from 1.5 to 2 to 3 inches. What do I mean by that? From the original part, you can extend it with what? Extra 1.5 or something. Are you seeing it? You've not gotten your what? A line. So what are we going to use on this? Pencil.
No, straight.
Straight. Okay. So if we are working with straight shirt gown, it should be this way. Have you seen it? Okay. So the final thing remaining here is the what? The neck. So in order for you to get the neck, what do you do? Please, I want us to focus at this very point. We work, in order for you to get neck on every garment, especially garments like this that has this kind of closed neck. Now, you work with what we call the what? Neck width. That is the distance from the left side of the neck to the what? Right side of the neck. And we also have to work with what we call the what? Neck width. Do you understand? Okay. So in order for you to get your neck width, whenever we are cutting this what do I call it? Senators, shirts, we usually like to make use of this specific neck width. Okay. Now you can use average neck width is what? 2.5 inches. Now for people that are very, very slim, they can use what? 2 inches. What I mean by this 2.5 is when you expand it like this, you get what? 5 inches. Do you understand? Now for 2 inches, when you expand it, you get what? 4 inches. Now for people that are fat, you make use of what? 3 inches. People that are very fat, you make use of what? 3 inches. But for the sake of this class, since this person is not that slim, she's average, we are going to be making use of what? 2.5 inches. Now look at it. Mark out 2.5. Remember, you don't start from here. You start after the what? Half inch. Okay. Are you seeing the neck width? Okay. Now let me mark it again in order to get a what? A straight line. Now mark out the neck width. Are you seeing it? Okay. Next thing you are going to mark out is the what? Neck depth. Now, please, I advise us to use, whenever we are marking our neck depth, I advise us to make use of a kind of a higher neck depth. What do I mean by a higher neck depth? Let's say for the sake of this class, I'll be making use of what? I'll be making use of 3.5 inches. Are you seeing it? Now, let me tell you what I mean by this 3.5 is, let's say the person's neck is 16 inches or 14 inches. I would like, after cutting this, let me be getting either exactly 14 or 13 inches or even 15 inches. Now, if I get 13 inches, I still want it to be exactly 14. What do? I trim again. Do you understand? That means I'm at the what? Safe zone. Now, if I get 14 inches, that means that's the correct thing to use. Do you understand? If I get 15 inches, it is still very what? Okay. Because it has not really exceeded with excess figures. You understand what I mean? So what I'm trying to tell you is that you don't go and mark your own to be what? 5 inches. The neck is going to be what? Excess. You're not going to like that shit. So the least now you should use is what? 3 inches. Do you understand? But for the sake of this class, I'll be making use of what? 3.5. Hope that one is clear. Okay. So next thing we are going to do, like the same way we curved the armhole, we are still going to use that same method to curve the what? Neck. What am I saying? Look at it. From here, diagonally mark your what? 1 inch. Are you seeing it? Diagonally mark out your 1 inch. Then, from here, connect. Are you seeing it? Okay. Now, we are still going to do that same thing here. Look at it. But in this case, it's not going to be what? 1 inch. It's going to be what? Half inch. It's not going to be what? 1 inch. It's going to be half inch. What am I trying to say? Look at it. From here to here. Are we seeing it? Now, next thing we are going to do is to do what? Connect like this. Who does not understand this name? What? Where exactly didn't you understand?
Oh, yeah,
Okay. So now we are done Next thing we are going to do is to do what? We are going to cut. Remember, this is a free shirt without a dart. If you want to make a shirt with a dart, I hope you guys know what to do. Or do you want me to repeat it here? Eh? Do you want me to repeat it? I can still do it. Eh? You want me to do it? You want me to do it? Mommy, do you want me to do it? Okay. So if I really want to put a dart on this particular shirt, what am I going to do? What is it that should come to our head? We need a particular measurement. We need a particular figure to work with. What is it? You can tell me. Okay. So the nipple to nipple for a bust of 34 should be what? 7 inches. So if you want to mark out the nipple, remember you shouldn't start from here. You start from after the what? Half inch. Okay. That is what? 3.5. Okay. 3.5. Please do the same thing. Half inch. Remember, exclude this half inch. 3.5. Okay, now when you've gotten it, for you to really get your dart, the appropriate way of getting your dart is what? That starts from where? That starts from where? That starts from 1 inch after the what? Bust line. 1 inch below the what? Bust line. If this is the bust line, 1 inch below, that's where that starts. That ends at where? 2 inches above the what? Hip line. Okay. So now we've gotten this part, we've gotten this point. Next is what? The real dart itself. From the under bust, are you seeing it? From the tiniest part, from this center, mark out what? Half inch. From this point, mark out what? Half inch. Okay, now we've gotten all these points. This point, this point, this point, and this point. Next thing we have to do is to do what? Connect. Okay, is there any question? Remember, like I said, this is a together method, share. So in other words, what I'm cutting, I'm not cutting separate, I'm cutting both of them together. Remember, see this thing I just said here? While cutting the armhole, cut with the original. Are you seeing it? Now look at it. Now you seeing it. Now when you finish, the front part, you are going to effect that word, armhole effect. Are you seeing it? As you can see now, this front part is entering inside, while this one is at the normal point. Are you seeing it? Okay. So in order to cut the neck, now look at this thing. This thing is very, very important. Lift it up. Are you seeing it? Only the what? The front. Some of us will put their scissors and cut both the front and back. You that you are laughing, I know some of us will still do it. They will do it, I promise them. So, are you seeing it? You follow this pattern. Are you seeing it? Okay. Then next thing you are going to do, look at it. Next thing you are going to do, are you seeing this part? Next thing you are going to do, from here, step down with what? Half inch. Half or 3/4 inch. Are you seeing it? From here, step down. Are you seeing it? So when you step down, you connect it like this. Are you seeing it? And use your scissors. And then cut it. As you can see, we are done with our shotgun. So I'm going to expand it for us to see. I'm still going to expand it. Do you have any question? Remember, hope you guys know that this one now was wider than the back with what? Half inch. That half inch is for the what? Overlap. Okay, see what we are going to do. First of all, we are going to open up. As you can see, this is together. Are you seeing it? We are going to do what? Open up. Now look at it now. Look at what I'm going to do. Are you seeing it? In order for you to prepare the center flap, see, are you seeing that 2 inches? What you're going to do is to do what? Fold again, making it what? 1 inch. Are you seeing it? Okay. Hold it there. Hold it for me. Okay. Now you seeing it? After you finish folding it, what are you going to do? Either you gum with your hemming gum or you stitch on this point. Are you seeing it? Like a normal shirt. Okay.
This side is the front.
See the front. Okay, so next thing we are still going to do, we are still going to fold this one, the 2 inches. Now as you can see, this is the right side, share. This is the right side. Are you seeing it? When I mean the right side is, this is the front of the material. You understand? This is the back of the material. So while folding this thing, like I said, this is like a normal shirt. Look at it. Look at it. This is a normal shirt. Are we seeing it? Now you fold at the back. Look at it. The front, the back. Are you seeing it? Okay. We now do a stitch on this part. So are you seeing it? So now next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to expand this back. Okay. Now I think this part is the most interesting part. Now look at it. When I fold it, I now have to do what? Place it. When I place it very well. Make sure they join together equally. As you can see, is it overlapping or is it not overlapping? Is it overlapping?
Yes.
Look at it. It's overlapping. Are you seeing it? It's actually overlapping. Now, all I'm trying to let you know is that you must not push it like this for it to overlap. When you put the overlapping, that half inch that the front is wider than the back part, do you remember? That half inch, that is what is making this overlapping to work. Now you'll not be asking yourself, but it's not half inch I'm seeing 1 inch. Say you're seeing it. It's not really 1 inch. It is half inch on this side, half inch on this side. Thereby, when one is overlapping, it seems as if it's what? 1 inch. What am I trying to say now? Do as if you remove this half inch. Is it still 1 inch?
No.
It's not ordinary half inch. Are you seeing it? Okay. Now look at it now. Look at it. So what is remaining on this thing is what? The collar and the what? The sleeve for the shirt to be done.
Thanks for watching, guys. Please, I want you to make sure you watch how to sew this particular shirt. Check in the description box. You see the video on how to sew this particular shirt. Thank you very much. Please, I want you to make sure you click on that like button so as to have access to more of our video. Thank you, and may God bless you.